Energy conversion to thoughts, creating something out of nothing, pair production, particles, thoughts, and duality. The journey of exploration into our creativity revealed our thoughts appear to originate from perceiving a flow of energy which we sense at some level or in some aspect of our being. Then, through our human mind and its creative imagination, this energy is converted into thoughts, or mind can be seen to create or manifest thoughts. This discussion is related to looking at ways to help understand how we convert the energy we sense into thoughts, and we have the thoughts we do. Here we need to remember the focus of this recording is directed at empowering our creativity and our creative imagination, and uses the creativity perspective. Some of the concepts presented are analogies and serve a pedagogical purpose. One should not assume they are exactly the way creation works, but are effective for our creativity and the exploration of our creativity in creation. Although these concepts may be used literally in some situations, you are encouraged to see them symbolically. In many ways, the creation of thoughts out of a seemingly nothingness, an invisible energy, is the process of converting energy into particles without rest mass into what we call a thought. In many ways, creating thoughts out of a seemingly nothingness under the correct conditions is analogous to how electromagnetic waves can be observed as photons or particles of massless energy. In actuality, physical creation is not a world of separation, but a world of particles that are infinitely connected. There are two phenomena that can give us a perspective on how this happens. One way is how to create standing waves and the concept of resonance. The second is a phenomena called pair production. Probably one of the easiest ways to understand how our thinking and what we think and believe causes the energy we experience to form thoughts is to look at how a standing wave can be formed and can give rise to a resonance wave of a unique frequency. Consider a taut string attached between two boundaries, one boundary fixed and the other attached to a device that allows for the moving of the string up and down to generate waves on a string. When the frequency has a wavelength that fits the length of the string, a standing wave is generated. The lowest frequency or vibration, whose wavelength is twice the length of the string, a standing wave will be generated. The wavelength is twice the length of the string because a full wave has cycle up and cycle down, and a half cycle will fit the length of the string. This frequency is the fundamental frequency for that particular string arrangement. Resonance is a phenomena that arises when a system or object experiences some form of energy, either as a vibration or as an external force that matches its natural frequency. The natural frequency is the frequency at which the system will oscillate or vibrate when disturbed without being subject to a driving force. Objects can have more than one natural frequency. When the external energy or force matches the natural frequency, the object or system absorbs energy from the external force and starts vibrating with a larger amplitude. Now, when a taut potential vibrating string is fixed between two boundaries, if exposed to different frequencies, what you observe is at certain frequencies the object or system will oscillate or resonate with greater amplitude within the cavity. That is, the string will vibrate with an increased amplitude. The particular frequencies at which the strings vibrate are called resonance frequencies, and the frequency that is at the lowest frequency is called the fundamental frequency. All frequencies other than the resonant frequencies are not captured and do not cause any increased amplification in the vibration of the string. In essence, they do not resonate with the system. A structure which captures the resonant frequencies can be called a resonance cavity. Analogously, we can see our mind as a form of a resonance cavity. Mind does something similar, but there is an additional aspect that is different than the simple resonance described. In essence, you could say there is a mind portion and a body portion. The body portion extends past the actual physicalness of the body. As discussed in the creativity perspective on localized and non-localized energy, a physical object is a localized energy and will have both a wave nature and a particle nature. Our body, as a vehicle for the physical experience, can sense any energy in creation, but it preferentially detects energy which gives rise to the physical experience of a human being. Much like a pre-tuned radio tuned to selected frequencies of energy. A major component of our being focused in the physical plane arises from how much our five senses dominate our experiences in physical creation. But we are receptive to experiencing many energies other than that through the five senses. It is our mind's interpretation to these other energies we sense which makes the human experience different than that what we would call an animal in physical creation. Our mind, by how and what it thinks and believes, creates a particular mindset, belief system, or arrangement of beliefs. In doing so, it does two things relative to creating a thought. The first thing is to recognize, captures, or resonates with the energy, and the second is to interpret it. The first step is capturing the energy involves the particular mindset, belief system, or arrangement of belief mind creates. The mindset provides an additional tuning to the body to select or resonate with certain energies analogous to the resonant cavity described. How we think and believe conceptually acts as the boundaries of the barrier to which the string in the resonance chamber is attached, and as such, there are certain types and kinds of experiences of energy we will not have. However, in the world of physical action, we do not see how our beliefs are allowing us to resonate or not resonate with energy. For example, to have the thought, "I can go on a boat," will give an experience you could not otherwise have. If we resonate with the energy giving rise to the thought of riding a boat, we will act and do it. Otherwise, it does not resonate and we say no. In any case, the second step is when we experience an energy that can resonate within the cavity our mind creates with a particular mindset, belief system, or arrangement of beliefs, and our particular body, our mind will then move to interpret or characterize that energy based on our mindset, belief system, and the arrangement of beliefs. Returning to the thought of riding a boat, we experience some energy. It could be somebody suggests we ride a boat, or we see a river or a lake, and the thought arises in our mind of riding a boat. If we change what we think and believe, depending on how we integrated what we think and believe, we can change the resonant cavity, which changes what we perceive or changes the interpretation of the energy that we capture or with which we resonate. When we change what we think and believe, we're changing the boundary condition of what the wave energy can resonate within our being. So if you think of a large spectrum of energy, only those energies that can be captured by the resonant cavity will resonate. Now, if we return to the thought of riding a boat, but we do not have any belief structure regarding riding a boat to generate the thought of riding a boat, someone can suggest riding a boat to us, or we can see a river or a lake, but there'll be no thought of riding a boat. The energy which would give rise to the thought of riding a boat would not resonate with us to create the thought. Rather, some other energy would resonate and may create the thought that it's a nice day for a walk, or we just would not hear the individual suggesting we go ride on the boat, and the energy of the river or the lake would similarly not create any thought of riding a boat. We would just not have the mindset to create it. Now, what is needed to be understood is the process of capturing and interpreting an energy is a multidimensional process, that there are many aspects to a given thought. That is, for example, if you think of a chair, any chair, there are many variations and attributes a chair can have. Each attribute is sort of a different standing wave or give rise to a different standing wave. So when we think of a chair, we go back to our mind and pull an image or thought of a chair. But that image we pull up has all of the individual attributes a chair can have. The more what we observe has the attributes of what our mind calls a chair, the more or better we will describe what we see as a chair. Now, if we think of a blue chair, but also an otherwise totally identical red chair, each is a unique thought with a unique energy. All that is different is the color of the chair. As stated, a thought is a multi-dimensional or multi-attribute entity, although there will be analogous resonant frequencies that allow the energy to be captured by the mind and seen as the basic aspects of the chair. There are many aspects unique to any object as to how our mind characterizes the energy. This is why two individuals can experience the same energy but have vastly different interpretation. Much of our ability to share experiences is because we share what is meant to be a human being with a human body and a human mind. Each is pre-tuned for the human experience, and being in physical creation as a human gives our consciousness the common experience to communicate with each other. It is only our common experiences which allow us to communicate with each other. If we did not have the common experience of being a human, we would have no way to communicate with each other. For example, think of the colors of the rainbow, or the primary colors we normally think of: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So we can easily see the red chair is different than the brown chair. However, if one is colorblind to red, they will see red more of a brown or possibly yellow. So if we say the red chair is different than the brown chair, the individual who's colorblind will be puzzled, where the chairs will probably look more like the same chair. What we need to understand is that many of the human experiences perceived through our five senses allow us to communicate and feel as though we have the exact same kind of experience as another individual. However, there are differences, and something like color blindness will greatly affect what one person sees versus another. In addition to our mind characterizing the energy we experience into a thought that analogously parallels the wave energy being perceived as photons, there is a phenomenon called pair production that gives rise to some additional insights about our thoughts. Pair production phenomenon in physics is where a particle with mass and its antiparticle with mass is created out of an electromagnetic wave under the correct conditions. The correct condition for creating an electron-positron pair is a photon or electromagnetic wave of energy greater than 1.02 MeVs of energy interacting with a heavy nucleus. The result is the creation of a positron and electron, each with rest mass 0.510 million electron volts of energy, and the energy greater than that sum of the two rest mass is split equally between the two particles as kinetic energy. In many ways, when our mind creates the correct conditions, we characterize the energy into thoughts. Now, what's interesting is we can view the creation of any thought as a creation of a pair of thoughts, which actually can help us to explain what gives rise to duality. Alternatively said, any thought we have also creates an anti-thought of some type which negates the thought we have. For any thought we have that comes into existence, we can look at an opposite thought which would simply be some form of the negative of the thought. For example, the thought, I should read a book, gives rise to its opposite, I should not read a book. Or, this is an apple, which gives rise to all that is not apple. In fact, anything we name can be negated by what the name does not include. This understanding that any thought creates an opposite thought explains the concept behind what is called the Zen dilemma. The Zen dilemma is, by seeking to be actively unattached to anything, the individual is actually attached to the belief and desire of non-attachment. In essence, just by having a thought, we have entered the realm of duality. Although duality may be unescapable, we do have a choice. We have the choice as to how we would respond to the duality we face. We also have a choice to choose what we believe, and we can choose to explore the beliefs we have. We can also choose how we think. In changing the thought we have and changing how we choose to respond to these different thoughts, now further change what and how we think and believe. Here it is also good to remember anything created by a human mind starts as a thought within the mind of an individual. A single human thought does have the potential to change the world. The recommendation made here is become aware if you are being served by the thoughts you have and your way of thinking. Look to see if you feel life is really resonating with you and you are creating a life worth living. If not, you have the ability to change both your thoughts and your thinking. You possess an awesome power in your ability to choose what you think and what you believe. Remember, a single human thought does have the ability to potentially change the world, and it may be the thought that your creative imagination generates.